Hi, this is a review of the GoolRC T37. It's a mini drone. It comes with a couple different ways to fly it. Overall, it's a pretty cool little package, but let me show you what you get here. You have a box that it comes in, which is nice. Every now and then you get when you're dealing with electronics, you'll get a plain brown box. So this is pretty nice if you're giving it as a gift. Shows you the drone on the outside. Gives you some information on the back. What I like most about this drone is that it's small and easy just to throw in a bag or something if you're just looking to play around with. If you're out and about, it's very small, looks almost like a mouse. Well, I can show you by comparison. Here's my Logitech mouse. Here's the little drone. So that gives you an idea of the size on this thing. And basically, you have the four little legs that pop out that have the propellers on them, and you have, besides various lights in the unit, which they have in the front and back are different colors, there is a little camera on the front there. There's a battery compartment on the bottom, and you have a power button on the top, which is pretty much the extent of the controls on the unit itself. Now, you can fly this thing two different ways. It has an included remote control, which is, I think, better than little drones that I've tested before that have the older two joysticks where you try to fly it that way. This is a little bit more intuitive as you start out flat, and you basically can go down and up, left and right by moving your wrist. It takes a little bit of getting used to, but overall it's a little bit easier to fly it than it is with the old-fashioned remote controls. The other option is to use your, I guess I should unplug it from the charger. The other thing you can do is use your cell phone, and you download the app. There is a QR code in the instruction booklets, which there are also a variety of instruction booklets in a variety of languages, so you should be covered with that. But those are the two different ways to fly it. You can fly it with the included remote control. You can fly it with your cell phone. You can fly it with a tablet. It's a little bit, takes a little bit to get used to the app. Make sure you get the right app. They have a name of an app in the instructions. I originally went to the Play Store, typed that in. There was an app by that name, downloaded it. It didn't work. You have to get the version that's specifically for these. So follow the QR code in the instructions. That'll bring you to the right app. And once that is paired up, it'll work. The camera is a 720p camera on the front there. It takes some decent, when you're looking through the phone, it takes some decent pictures. If you're looking for it to do video for something that you're going to, it's something that you're going to want to upload to YouTube or something like that, it's probably not going to cut it because the frame rate isn't great, but the overall look is. I'll see if I can put a little bit of B-roll here. We'll see if we can get some downloaded to my to the cell phone, and then put that up here to give you an idea what that looks like. While you're flying it, it's really cool because you can see pretty much real time. There was some lag every now and then, so if you're relying on that to fly, you may have an issue. But basically what it does is it uses Wi-Fi to connect this with your phone. You do have to, that's the other thing, besides having the right app, you do have to, once you have the app installed, you have to go into your Wi-Fi settings and look for the drone. The drone will be showing up as a Wi-Fi access point. You connect to the drone, and so you basically have a Wi-Fi pairing between your tablet or phone and this device, and that's how you get the controls. I haven't flown this outside yet, so I don't know as far if there's a big difference at all between the range you can get between the handheld remote control and your cell phone or tablet. But overall, inside didn't have a problem with either one. And Wi-Fi, I would think, is a pretty good, if you're flying it around your backyard, you should be able to fit most yards, as a Wi-Fi signal would without anything getting in the way. You should have a pretty decent, area that will work with. The batteries go in. They do come with 3 of these batteries, which is nice. I've had most other drones that I've gotten come with 1 battery, and the batteries, when you're using them, last probably 5 to 7 minutes, depending on how fast you're flying and all of that. But this comes with 3 batteries, so you can easily land, put the new battery in, let the other one recharge. Basically, it comes with a proprietary USB cable that goes into USB on one end, and then has this little connector here on the other end of the cable, and that was what charges. If I can get this. Got one charging here. We unplug that for a moment. Basically, here's the USB cable on one end. Here's the other charger on the other end. So that basically just clips right back into there. You plug this into any USB outlet. I would recommend an old-fashioned one if possible. I did see one reviewer here had a problem where one of the batteries shorted out when charging. So I would make sure you use the lowest possible charge. I wouldn't be plugging this into, some of the newer cell phones have higher amperage charger blocks that will produce more power. I would use an old-fashioned port in your laptop or PC, or if you have a charger, make sure it's just a 5-volt 1 amp or so, and you shouldn't have any problems unless there's a problem and defect with the batteries. But I like the fact that it comes with 3 different batteries because it lets you use this a little bit longer. It does come with some spare parts, which you have in there, and you can see, if I can bring this up close, not only do you have the few propellers, but there are, and this is one thing I do hate because, as a big guy, the big sausage hands, if you have to replace a propeller, if I can pull this in here, there is a very, very little screw there. And I'm pretty sure if I had to do that, I would lose them. So I guess if somebody needs to replace the propellers, my wife or somebody with smaller hands will have to do that. The only downside of this little drone that I found, and it drove me nuts, if you have anybody in the house, like my wife has long hair, or if you have pets that shed, or anybody that has long hair, this thing picks up hair better than a vacuum cleaner. Even when you're intentionally trying to avoid it, making sure the area is clear. If you miss one, this thing will pick up hair. It'll get stuck in here. And basically, you're going to want to keep a pair of tweezers around. They're going to be your best friend if the thing gets hair into the propeller, because if it does, that propeller will stop and the unit overall stops working. So, no joy there, no fun. So let me slide a battery in here. Let me show you how this thing works. Once that is all the way in, there's no snap or anything. It just uses friction to hold that in. Once that's in, you can press this button on the top, which is the power. You'll see the front, you've got white lights blinking, maybe hard to see with the camera. There's red lights on the back, and the light on top, there's a blue LED which lights up. Not sure how well that's picking up looking at the camera feed here. To pair it with the remote that comes with it, you just turn that on. I had some batteries dead in the remote unit, it appeared. We've got this thing now paired with this device, and you press the button on the joystick here to start these propellers up. And if I can bring this up, you can hear that. And as I move my hand to the one way, the unit wants to turn up. If you go this way, it's going to want to go up. If you do this, it's going to want to go down. I'm just barely holding this with my fingers to give you an idea of how using the remote control is going to work for you. You push that down, it wants to go down. You pull that up, it wants to go up. If you need an emergency stop, you hit that button, everything stops. But as you can hear, probably it puts out a decent amount of noise, so if you have pets, also be aware of that. It may freak them out. But basically, again, you press the button here to start it up, and then you can control, there's a couple different levels here of how fast it'll go. So you can get an idea with that. I tried to get some B-roll of me actually flying the thing in the house and trying to work a camera and fly this in small quarters. Unfortunately, I'm not good enough with this thing yet. It does move fast that I was hitting walls with it, which a good thing is I've hit enough walls with this thing and the propellers never came off of it. It seems like it's a very sturdy little device. Let me give you a quick idea here of what you see on the app itself when you're using it. Okay, so basically what I just did, I turned the remote control, the handheld one off. The unit is blinking again, if you can see that. What I want to do now is take my, let me put this down here. I want to take my controller. It says connect on the side here. And what I want to do is go to my Wi-Fi settings and choose, you can see where it says Google, well maybe, yeah, they're GoolRC. No internet access, so you're going to want to tell it it's okay, because if you have an Android phone, it's going to freak out every time you connect to a device that doesn't have internet. So we're connected to that. We want to go back. It says yes, you want to, you could always say, it's going to give you that warning if you're using Android, that it doesn't have internet access. Just tell it not to ask you again. Say yes. Go back to the GoolRC app. And as of this point, well, you're kind of just seeing a blinking there. Let me pick up my, here as we go, I can kind of point this at myself. And now you can see that it's a live feed coming from that. You can see around the office here as we kind of spin that around. Got the monitor next to me here, and the monitor will do the cool thing where it's just going into infinity here, as you see. So basically, it's an interesting little thing that it will give you, a decent video feed while you're using the device, and then you put it into the mode, and you'll get a couple of basically the controls on the screen, as you can see there, and you're also then going to get in the background is the camera feed from the unit itself. So let me turn that off here. So it takes a little getting used to flying it that way. It's easier to fly it with the handheld control, but of course, then you don't get the really cool thing of being able to watch the drone as it's flying around. So both of these modes are really useful. Both of them are really cool. After using this device for about a week, I definitely will give it a recommended rating overall. But again, keep away from hair. That's the one thing. The only problem I had with this is that hair gets into these little propellers there, and once they get stuck in there, it'll take quite a while to go through and try to untangle that. You'll know you have a problem with one of the propellers if just by blowing on it the thing does not spin freely. You know you're going to have to go in and clean that out. If you have small fingers and a really, really, really small screwdriver, the easiest thing would probably be to do is pop them off, clean it out, and put those back on. I didn't want to risk losing those little screws, so I was probably doing it a little bit more of a pain in the behind way by using the little pair of pliers, or the pair of tweezers, but that works just as well. Overall, a fun little device. In the $50 range, the fact that it comes with 3 batteries and gives you the ability to use your tablet or your phone to see the video or to capture video from it, definitely well worth the price. Takes a little bit of getting used to. It takes a little bit of practice to fly it well, but every drone I've played with does, unless you're getting into the hundreds or thousands of dollars where it's being, the artificial intelligence is stabilizing the rig for you. You're not getting anything like that for under, $500, $600 and up. So overall, this thing is a lot of fun. It's easy to just, if I can remember which ones go in first, I think that's the one. You fold these things down. It's about the size of a mouse. You can throw the 3 little batteries in the bag with you, and you don't even need to bring the remote control if you're using your phone. So it's easy to take out and about, have if you need to kill a few minutes here and there or play around with it. Overall, a fun little drone to play with. If you have any questions, any things that we didn't cover in the review, feel free to put those down in the comments. We watch those, and if we have an answer for you, we'll give it. And if we don't, we'll certainly try to find the answer for you. Again, this has been a review of the GoolRC T37 mini drone. I am Darren O'Neill. Thanks for watching.